All right, welcome. This is a mad reaction to criticism of me. And can I take it? Am I a snowflake? Am I just in my safe space reacting to others, but I won't take criticism? No, I love criticism. As long as it's not personal or going across the line like harassing people. I love criticism. I love to be criticized. So, Angus made a video about me. I will be honest here, and I wasn't going to say this on the video, and it's not like this YouTube bullshit where like, I didn't want to make a video on this. I was distancing myself a little bit from Angus because of the conspiracy theories tweeting out on a specific tragic day, and I don't want to be associated with that, honestly. And I don't want to throw shade at him too, but he sometimes occasionally says stuff where I'm like, oh, I can't be associated with this. It makes me a hypocrite just to talk to him when he says some bullshit. So that's the honest truth. I wasn't going to respond to your video, not because I'm afraid of the criticism, because in the video I watched ahead of time, he says, I want to talk to him. I do want to talk to him. I just don't want to talk to him when it's the bullshit surrounded crazy conspiracy theories, even if you think they're funny. I don't think conspiracy theories that people get under the influence and spread the bullshit everywhere are funny. And I don't think everything, even though freedom of speech, it's your right to say it, I don't necessarily want to be associated with the stupid shit sometimes. So that's the truth, Angus. But since you asked today, I will react to your video. Not the whole video because it's a long video. Here it is. Mad Max the Mandalorian loses his mind at Friday Night Tights' new record success with Alex Jones. I don't think views and money and notoriety are always a success. How I scale success is great conversation, authenticity, not being disingenuous, being an honest opinion, and never going with unless the flow is, unless I feel like the flow is right, going with the flow. I'm not just gonna. I'm never in a hug box or an echo chamber. I like to smash them down. All right, so let's hear his criticism of me. Not too much though. Not too much. All right, let me see if I. Oh yeah, and I have no intro. If you want no intro in these pre-recorded vids, make sure to smash the hell of the like button. If we could get 50 likes, I'll really consider not putting the intro, and I'll just keep it for the live streams because everyone's criticizing my long-ass intro, which I worked really hard on. All right, here we go.
With his band of merry men, they hosted, of all people, Alex Jones, and it was pretty entertaining to hear him on there for about an hour and a half or so. And, of course, there's a contingent on the internet that...
Now, see, here's the thing with Alex Jones, and I'm talking about this again. The First Amendment, yes, but it doesn't protect false, defamatory statements, libel statements are not protected under free speech. So here's the argument, though: is it free speech or is it lies? With finger quotes, opinions, lies, and false statements. I think that's the majority of what you get from Alex Jones, and I don't think it's funny to make false statements. And also my big problem is what that is entertaining, but and you can respect that. That's part of the game. But an actor or an actress or someone saying they want to be represented or they feel they've been, this is the other thing, because one person says they haven't personally been affected by ism in America, that it's not as bad. You are not everyone. You don't have everyone's life experiences, and that could be ignorant, even if you have. Even if you are, multiple ethnicities, that is ignorant to say that the other person's opinion on the situation is not valid just because you haven't experienced it or you don't see it. That's the other problem with ignorance. I don't see it, therefore it doesn't exist. Or I know someone that has different ethnicities, and they don't say it's a problem. And that's also a big pull to my specific friend. That's where the white bros, and I'm going to keep calling them, like to say, I have a friend and they don't see these problems, so it must not exist. That's extremely ignorant, extremely, and very dismissive of people's feelings. Everyone has a different life experience. Just because you didn't experience it, or didn't see it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you shouldn't. You should listen. Now, do you believe everyone? Unfortunately, with the age of the internet, you can't believe it. How about that for a nuanced take? You can't believe everyone on the internet, especially the FNW. But you should listen to everyone. Now, if they consistently lie, like Alex Jones, should you listen to them? That's a different situation. This is where nuance takes over in context of actions, and what also funds and grifting absolutely corrupt free speech, and free speech is used as a shield to grift for funds. And no one likes a snake oil salesman or a con man. These people are con men. They're proven con men now. They should not be respected. They should be mocked and criticized for believing, oh, entertaining. This is the other spin. Everyone that loves his takes says, oh, he's just entertaining. I don't believe with everything. That's how you see, in my opinion, that they are indoctrinated. Oh, it's just entertaining. Okay. You really tolerate a lot of bullshit, but other things there's no tolerance for.
It. And so we're gonna be talking about my buddy Mad Max. After Friday Night Tights, at some point, Mad Max had his Friday Night White stream.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. Having it again tonight.
What's the word? Frequent guest, Oh My Diaz, Resident Justice. Who, by the way, sub to Resident Justice. He's trying to hit 1K. He's working hard and is giving his thoughtful opinion. Whether you like it or not, I think he has food for thought. Go check him out. But anyway, yeah, they're hosting this and they're all about, oh, it's a grift. They're pandering their politics. They're forcing this, and it's like,
yeah, my opinion is I have a nuanced opinion, nuanced take. I feel I do actual criticism where I think they're con men and they just spin everything to a false narrative when it's not there. So that's why I consider them grifters and not necessarily myself a grifter. Okay, I think I consider grifters more like con men or snake oil salesmen, just make shit up, profit off of hate. I don't believe I'm doing that. I criticize their actual words. That's my opinion, at least.
Bro, there's a reason there is anti-Disney fervor with these channels. And if I don't agree with the methods and or some of the content, the overall message, hating Disney, despite liking some of the products myself, is very well founded, along with just Hollywood in general. Politics is here again at the forefront in entertainment. Don't play dumb. Don't act like it's not there. I guess before I get into it, though, the point of this video is conversation with Max. This is what I want to stream about, kind of one-on-one, once we get all this out of the way, and have a discussion, dialogue, and learn from each other. Maybe throughout the
now that you know what I said at the beginning of videos, but that's like kind of why I like him. I just can't stand some of the other shit he does, and I don't want to throw a lot of shade at Angus either. But that's why I kind of distance myself every once in a while, because I'm like, stupid shit like that on a tragic day. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be reminded of some of the bullshit conspiracy theories that are out there. I don't.
Link to people, but Max, I think, has real talent on YouTube. He's a great memer. He's got a lot of fervor, a lot of energy. He's animated, he's entertaining with his rants, regardless if it's 10 in a row about Jeremy Griggs or what have you. He's a funny guy, and I really think he means well. But what I was saying, he's kind of disingenuous. He's grifting a grift. If he thinks that it's all a grift, well, most of his content is grifting that, you know.
I
They're
love
building-
doing reactions and having conversations, dismantling the weapons of InfoWars, because I love. I also criticize John Campea and those in Access Media. I love going at it. It's just that unfortunately the usual suspects, the idiots of the anti-SJW, reveal themselves as idiots more often than John Campea. If John Campea messes up, I will cover it for sure. I do need to diversify my content. I do Movie Madness Live as well.
in their channels discussing their opinions about X thing in Hollywood or entertainment, and your channel is discussing their discussion and not liking it.
I think that's more interesting than just making 5-hour streams just on one tweet. I honestly think it's more interesting than what the majority of the competition is doing. The competition is just responding to people making comments. I'm responding to, in some cases, the whole context of their whole video. We always talk about context. I'm talking about the whole context of their video, not one out of context tweet to be fake offended by. So I think it's more interesting and more transformative, and it takes the conversation further than a hug box or an echo chamber, which most of them are used to. Now, Angus is not into a hug box or echo chamber, neither is Snow, which we'll get to him later. And just so you see, I did thumbs up the video. I'm okay with criticism.
And so, you know, there's that. But and I'm entertained, but, you know, I get frustrated because, like, if that's all I thought you could do, Max, I would leave it be. But you got so much more to offer.
I think Angus does too. I'm just tired. I'm tired of his bullshit. If I never looked at certain people's Twitter feeds, I guess I'd be okay.
You are a leader. You get people around you. You got a knack for it, and that's why I'm like, oh man. After we talked the first time, like a couple years ago, it's like, oh, he's more Jeremy videos. What are you doing? Like,
again, the usual suspects pop up the most.
But yeah, while I was at work, well, I'm at work, but when I had free time, I just jotted down some key things that people forget about Disney and politics. Now, mind you, you could argue, like some people do with comics, politics has always been here. And sure, one of the greatest films of all times, just like critically, Birth of a Nation, is a big Ku Klux Klan propaganda piece. It was hosted on the White House lawn, first film at the White House with Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, he's referencing,
and also the first film school in Russia, communist Russia, and they perfected montage and editing and propaganda. Albert Einstein, Hitchcock kind of advanced their techniques, I think, without an agenda. But
okay, so we're talking about history of propaganda and film history. What does this have to do with the current Hollywood? Are you suggesting that the current Hollywood has that level of propaganda? I completely disagree. Everyone has politics. If you search it out, like a lot of people online right now, and search out the personal history, you're going to interject stuff that's not there just because you know the person. But is it actually in the context of the film for so-called normies? Normies don't notice this stuff. And a lot of times it's very minimal or not there at all. And all of these constant conversations and arguments online about film nowadays, there's hardly anything there. I've listened to the arguments. I do nuanced takes. If it's there, it's there. In my opinion, if it's not, it's not. I think these are con men grifting on stuff that's not there. And I'm not playing dumb about it being there. I honestly do not see it. I've heard the arguments. The arguments are bullshit. Just like the people it's coming out of the mouths of. It's absolute bullshit. Now, what about as I'm talking about all this stuff? Is it on the level of that agenda and propaganda? No, I think that's a stretch, a big stretch.
They were very effective, so much so that the Nazis, even though they're complete foes, Goebbels and company, utilized the groundwork that the Soviets used with
Okay,
film
I don't know
and
why you bring all this
advanced it
up,
in Journey
Angus.
for their propaganda. And
Okay.
I think it's very clear how effective that was, politicizing, propagandizing.
Or even if there was a level of propaganda for diversity and equal rights and stuff, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. But I don't even, listen, it's 2021. More people deserve the right for equal opportunities in all job places, including the entertainment industry. If there's a justifiable reason for doing a race swap or gender swap, and it make in the film is still quality, I think we should give it a chance. And even though it may be a small inconvenience for the consumer that's stuck into the origins of the character, I think we should, as a whole, as a community, in a society, try to progress a little bit where we give more things a shot than screaming like social justice wackos, weirdos ourselves when it happens. Because here's the context: no one was complaining when all these characters were hardly. No, I'm not saying no one. Hardly anyone was complaining when most of these characters in the history of Hollywood were consistently whitewashed. But now everyone's losing their shit when it's the alternative. Now that it's an inconvenience to white people, we haven't really. Am I against white people too? That's another question that keeps coming up. No, I'm not. But we're very white privilege is a thing, and we haven't really had to experience this at all. And we get the slightest inconvenience, and we flip out. And I could criticize other white people for sure.
Entertainment to send a message, to direct people for a cause. And I think the chance to do that is neither good nor bad, but we've seen most people with the money and the power do this for ill gain and utilize a lot of useful idiots like I see today on Twitter with these discussions. All right, so we'll get into Disney. Now, Max, if you've talked about any of this stuff, if you hit at it, good on you. But like, I do not recall, or I did not see, and it's not at the forefront. You're always like, they're pushing Trump or blah blah blah. You know, the right or alt right. You know, you can kind of conflate that shit. So Disney, Mulan, they thanked the province who has the Muslim Uyghur camp, Uyghur or Uyghur, whatever.
Okay. I don't listen. I don't put that on Disney. It's not a good look, of course, if Mulan was filmed there. And it's horrendous that concentration camps still exist in any country. But what can Disney do to control anything that happens in China besides working with people in China to have a more authentic take on Mulan? So is that fair? Is that fair to criticize? I mean, it's fair to criticize, but saying things that happen here in America, where Disney can have direct control over the production, whereas if they're working in a foreign country, they may not. And just because they thank the Providence, I watched this ahead of time, Providence, where it was filmed, and there happened to be a camp in that Providence. Is that Disney's fault? No, not necessarily. They should have been more careful. I believe that. But to say that Disney doesn't care about people in camps, that's another straw man argument. They didn't do it. It's not up to them if they work with a foreign providence that has that in their region. That's not a good look. But is that within their control? That's the argument I would want to have. And I don't know what this has to do about me criticizing the context of the film, if there's actually the agenda of the film. I don't know what this has to do with that.
Whatever. Concentration camp for an ethnic minority of Muslims in China. They're sterilizing people. You know, these
Yeah,
are
that's
human rights
horrendous.
violations by China.
Right, but China, not Disney, and trying to conflate the two and say that Disney is involved, I think that's disingenuous, and that's trying to fill a narrative that that Disney doesn't really care about social justice. How can they control that? I mean, even the United States government didn't get involved. You want Disney to get involved in that? So they shouldn't have an authentic film filmed in China where lots of things happen that shouldn't happen, you know?
And Disney is thanking them. Apparently, someone found the actual camper or whatever in the background of Mulan. I haven't confirmed that myself. But yeah, it's like, and also, let's say 2018, 2019, there was this Georgia heartbeat bill in debate, an anti-abortion bill, and Georgia has become a huge, like a second Hollywood. A lot of investment by lots of companies, and there was some
Okay,
boycotting.
I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to go too much longer. But he's given a lot of what about examples that don't really go into the context of the film. Of course, if actors protest in the the lower men on the lower men and women on the totem pole lose their job, I feel bad for the people in the production. I try to keep my criticism to the actual context of the film, and if there's agenda in the product. If we go down the route of examining the people that are employed and what they do or what they won't do based on their politics, that's like a never-ending argument, and I don't think that's healthy, and that's just going to inject more politics here. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you, Angus, for criticizing me. I thumbs up your video. Potentially we can have a talk soon. That's all I got for this one. I got to get ready for later. I'll see you later. Bye. Do you want to see me react to more videos with people criticizing me? Because over the last week, there's quite a few. I'll see you later. Bye.